Last week I was going through a load of my old newspaper articles and paperwork and stuff. I did find this newspaper article, and I was quite surprised I'd found this newspaper article because if you look, it's all about the German boat that sank in 1878, and we looked at the monument previously. I'm walking to Cheriton Road Cemetery in Folkestone in Kent, and here it is. And I can see it over there just through the gravestones. And there on the side is the drapery that I remember and gold lettering. Now MIT SMS, MIT is with I think, but it's obviously not short messaging service, something else back then. Is it a regiment? So I don't speak German, so I've no idea what it says. So I'm going to try Google Translate to see if it'll help me. 31st of May 1878. Commemorating the May the 31st, 1878 with SMS Great Elector, lost comrades the German Navy. And there's some very brief details about this monument there, which says 284 German sailors perished when the ironclad Grosser Kurfürst collided with its flagship König Wilhelm in the Channel in 1878. 284 sailors then died. Were all the bodies recovered? Are they all buried there? 284 of them? Did anyone survive? So let's find out. A faraway memorial to a German tragedy here. Got a picture of it there. And it says, unless their German is good, visitors to Cheriton Road Cemetery in Folkestone may not know the significance of this gilded stone memorial. It commemorates the lives of 200 sailors lost at sea off Shepway. On the morning of May 31st, 1878, 3 German Navy ironclads entered Dungeness Bay on manoeuvres. The trio were 6 miles off Sandgate when the Grosser Kurfürst was rammed by its colleague, the König Wilhelm, and it started to list. It sank in less than 10 minutes. It's nothing, is it? Fishing vessels went to help, and the lifeboat Meyer de Rothschild, stationed at Seabrook, was sent out, manned by Sandgate coastguards. But owing to the lack of wind, they had to rely on their oars. By the time it arrived at the scene, most of the survivors had been rescued, but the death toll was high, and bodies washed ashore for many weeks. They were buried in Cheriton Road with full naval honours. A German gunboat was sent to Dover and remained there to furnish a firing party. Every anniversary up until the start of the First World War, German naval officers came to Folkestone to honour their comrades by laying a wreath. And this is the bit that I'm really interested by, because I did wonder about this previously. The monument was vandalised during both World Wars. So it was a slightly unexpected find, this little article, particularly because of the fact that it does tell me it was vandalised in the 2 World Wars. I don't know what vandalism happened to it, but it does say that did happen. So I just thought I'd have a look on the internet to look for Grosser Kurfürst. It's got its own Wikipedia page. Let's have a look at that. So that is the ship. 200 people died. That's a lot of people. So what does it say here? An ironclad turret ship. I don't even know what a turret ship means. Or a 19th century type of warship. The earliest to have guns mounted in a revolving gun turret instead of a broadside arrangement. Don't even know what a broadside arrangement, but presumably it means along the side, does it? Anyway, built in 1870, completed 1878. You can see all the sails there. So that is what it looked like. It was her maiden voyage when she was accidentally rammed by König Wilhelm. Goodness. These 2 ships, along with SMS Preußen, streaming the English Channel. The 3 ships encountered a group of fishing boats under sail. In turning to avoid them, Grosser Kurfürst inadvertently crossed König Wilhelm's path and was rammed. I see, so they went across. Oh, this is the little picture of it, look. So, oh, there, the Preußen there, König Wilhelm going there, and then the Kurfürst went right in front of it, like that. That's the sinking there. All the people look clanging on the edge there, and some in the water. Gosh. Oh, so it says the damage in her hull was in one of the transverse watertight bulkheads there. So the bulkhead, a compartment in a portion of the space within a ship defined vertically between decks. Worse, Grosser Kurfürst's remaining watertight bulkheads were not adequately sealed. Gosh, which also contributed to a rapid sinking. As the ship took on more water and the list increased, water began to enter through open portholes as well. Arthur Sullivan, on his way to Paris, witnessed the incident, writing, "I saw it all, saw the unfortunate vessel slowly go over and disappear under the water in clear, bright sunshine, and the water like a calm lake. It was too horrible, and then we saw all the boats moving about picking up the survivors, some so exhausted they had to be lifted onto the ships." God, sounds awful, doesn't it? The rescue effort, fishing vessels came. 60 men were picked up. König Wilhelm was badly damaged, but then did make it to Portsmouth. Montz, hang on, is Montz the captain? Hang on, who is Montz? Yeah, Montz the captain. He died in 1889. So what does it say? So Montz was picked up by one of König Wilhelm's boats, but it capsized due to overcrowding. He therefore helped another man stay afloat until they were picked up by another boat. Wonder who that man was. This says between 269 and 284 of her crew drowned. Well, this article says that there were 200 sailors, it's 2 here. Figures for the number of fatalities vary. Groner reports that out of a crew of 500 men, 269 died in the accident. Hildebrand Rowan Steinmetz, that's the person who wrote this book, isn't it, concur with the fatality total, but state there were only 487 men aboard the ship at the time of the sinking. Lawrence Sondhaus states that 276 men were killed, and Aidan Dodson reports 284. Many of the bodies were ultimately buried in Cheriton Road Cemetery, Folkestone. We've been there, haven't we? Where there was a substantial memorial, yes. So there was some sort of trial which ultimately resulted in the acquittal of both Rear Admiral Karl Bach and the squadron commander, Count Alexander von Montz, the captain of Grosser Kurfürst. Political infighting over the affair led to the ousting of Rear Admiral Reinhold von Werner. Illustration of the memorial in Folkestone. Right, there we go. We've seen the real one, haven't we? But that's an engraving of it. It was erected in 1881. 12th of January 1881 is when it was erected. The sail training ship Niobe had bought it from Germany. So it was made in Germany. It was constructed in Germany. Another monument was placed in front of the barracks to immortalise the naval infantry who had died in the sinking. In 2020, it was announced by Historic England that a memorial would be listed as a Grade 2 listed building, and the wreck itself would be scheduled under the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Areas Act 1979, allowing recreational diving under licence but prohibiting salvage or removal of artefacts. It would be really interesting to talk to somebody who has dived on it, because there must be people who have dived in it. I mean, it's still there. Let's have a look on YouTube just to see if there's anything there. Grosser Kurfürst 1878. So there's someone here who's doing a talk on it.
In the 18th century, the Kingdom of Prussia was unusual among the great powers of Europe.
Okay, so this man has done a whole talk on it. Yeah, this is interesting right here as well, because this is talking about the Princess Alice as well, which also happened in 1878. So in 1878, there was the situation with this German ship, and then later the Princess Alice disaster on the Thames in September. God, so it's quite an extraordinary year, isn't it, 1878? A moment of collision. There's a little illustration of it there, look, with the ship going in front of the Wilhelm. Let's look at the British Newspaper Archive, right, because that must have something in it. Let's have a look in here. Let's look up at Kurfürst. 1878. This is June. The divers went down yesterday morning but was unable to find any bodies. What a grim task, isn't it, going down to find bodies in there. Must have been horrible with the divers. Can't imagine what that must have been like. This is from the 8th of June 1878. Count Monte, the captain of the Grosser Kurfürst and the officers and sailors saved from the vessel have arrived here. They were received by a great concourse of people who gave them reception of earnest and touching character. 13th of June, no bodies have yet come ashore. This is talking about the recovery of bodies. Look, the body of Count Loverin, the commander Grosser Kurfürst, was brought into Folkestone yesterday from the wreck of the vessel. So who is Count Loverin? Was brought into Folkestone yesterday from the wreck of the vessel. It was dressed, full uniform, was very much decomposed. 27th of June, more bodies were recovered here. Let's just see what else I can find. June 1878, the last of the public funerals of those drowned in the Grosser Kurfürst took place on Sunday. The corporation protested against the repeated public funerals and the Admiralty have ordered their discontinuance. 31 bodies in all have now been recovered from the wreck, it says. It's going to be the burial registers for Folkestone that's going to show all the bodies being buried, isn't it? That's what is going to show that, but hopefully the Friends of Old Folkestone Cemetery will be able to help me with that. This is July 1878, so what is this? So it was the 31st of May, June does. This is 6 weeks later. Only 3 more bodies have been found since our last report. On Wednesday, the body of an officer named Wentenberg, who was chief engineer on board the ill-fated vessel, was recovered, and on Thursday was buried with honours. September 1878, the divers succeeded detaching the 8-ton anchor from the ship. The Grosser Kurfürst. The judgment of the court-martial. The German government about to erect a memorial. What I'm really interested in is the people on board the ship is what I'm really interested in, and to see if we can find a list of the people. Right, let's see what other pages we can find about this. What else have we got here? This is an article on coastalheritage.org.uk. There's an illustration there of the tragedy. Look at that. Oh, look! These are the people. This is a list of all the people. I don't know how many are there, though. These are their titles, isn't it? I don't know what these are. My German is terrible. Fuhrwerker, Oberbootsmannsmat, and I don't know what all these titles are. I could work this out. Mat must be seaman, mustn't it? Oh, well, gosh, look at that. This shipwreck is protected from Wessex archaeology. Oh, gosh, look at this too. Divers have died while visiting this shipwreck. The wreck is upside down on the seabed. To stop the dead bodies from being washed up on the beaches, a number of nets was put on the wreck to keep the dead in the vessel, and the area was a dumping ground for clinker. Used coal from railway ships. I don't know how many men are there. There's quite a few men listed there, but it's not 200, is it? Let's try and work out from this what these titles are. Right, we're going to go to German. So according to that, that is fireworks. So does that mean it's fireman, like the person who stoked it, is it? I'm assuming that's what that is. What is this one? Oh, chief boatswain's mate. Okay. We've got this bootsman mat. What is that one then? Boatswain's mate. Oh, okay. I mean the mate. Yeah, of course, mate. Of course, that's what it is, isn't it? Mate. This is all mate. What is Schreiber, mate? What is that? I don't know. That doesn't really translate very well, does it? Chief Petty Officer. I mean, it's not just the men who died. The men who survived would be fascinating, right, as well. So this is an article on BBC News website from 2020 saying the 19th century warship wreck off Kent protected. There's that picture that we've seen before of the wreck. This is saying 284 men. That's that picture again. Doesn't really tell me anything else, that article, does it really? This is from Euronews about the being given protected status. That's a different picture of it, isn't it? That's a photo of it, isn't it? It looks like. Let me open that in a new tab just to see. Is that the gun turret there? The ironclad. That's interesting, isn't it? This is historic England, so this is when it was being protected. Look at that image of it upside down there. That's the line, isn't it? The underside of the boat. Is this all the stuff that's been dumped on it? Could there be anybody in Ancestry? If I put in under an Ancestry search of Folkestone, Kent, and I put in death, 1878, and I put the ship in, Grosser Kurfürst. I can't imagine this is going to find anything, can you? But let's have a look. Oh, well, this is interesting. Look, this must be from the register. So on Find a Grave, they must have listed the people that are here. Herr Christianisen. Is that man listed on here? Christiansen, yeah. Obermatt Christiansen, he's listed there. Look, there's all these people that are coming up on Find a Grave. This one's got a name though, Luther maybe. Wonder why he's got a full name. A German mariner, Luther maybe. A German mariner found drowned after the sinking of the Grosser Kurfürst in Sandgate Bay and buried on the 22nd of June 1878. He was reburied on the 14th of October 1880 to make way for the Grosser Kurfürst Memorial. Oh, plot 26 grave, this shared grave. He buried then originally in plot 26 grave 6164. So I wonder why they know his first name for Luther. Don't know why that is. There is the Friends of Old Folkestone Cemetery. So somebody here must know. Contact us. Here we go. Let's send them a message. Dear friends of Old Folkestone Cemetery, I'm interested in the memorial to the men who died in the Grosser Kurfürst disaster and also the survivors. I wonder if you may please know where a list of the crew might be found. I've seen a list of last names here, but I'm wondering if any of your volunteers know a lot more about the names of the dead and survivors. I would love to hear from anyone who might know more about the tragedy. With thanks and best wishes, John Wickham. Let's send that off and see if that comes up with anything. Right, let's look under public member trees, just in case somebody has put in. Let's put in Folkestone. Is anybody going to have? Oh, look. There are some. Look here. Well, not some. There's two. Mestorf. Ernst Gottlieb Mestorf. And Johann Gerhard Popken. So let's just look on our list here. Right, well, they're not in that list. Right, so who are these people? Look, this is it. Look. Johann Gerhard Popken. And the parents there are listed. Gosh, we might be able to find out from these people something about a couple of these sailors. Let's just see if there's anyone else that's going to come up. There's no one else, is there? Just those two. Alright, so I'm going to stop now. Next time we're going to contact these people who have got these two sailors in their family trees and see if they can tell us anything about these two men. Because I don't think their bodies can have been recovered, because it doesn't seem like they're listed. So I'm going to do some more digging on what is in the information here in these ancestry family trees about these two men on the ship that was sunk in 1878.
You can continue the story with the next episode unedited, or continue finding out more with the edited episode. Or what about watching this new family history story? Click here to subscribe to the channel to find out all about future episodes. Thanks for watching.